Hello everybody, I am back to talk to you some more about resiliency in the tarot. Now hopefully you have completed your list, or it's never really done, not completed, but you've made a list of characteristics, personality traits that you consider essential to resilience. And if you haven't, I'm going to suggest that you go back to that first video. It's not that long, it's like 10 minutes-ish. And read that or watch that and make your list first, and then come and do this video. So, but this is fun because now you get to use the cards. Before you were just making, doing some reflection and making a list. Now you get to touch your cards. Yay! So I'm opening up here with these 3 cards from the Everyday Witch Tarot. And I'm trying to choose some decks to use to illustrate these things that there's, reasonable chance you've got it, so it looks familiar, or mass market whenever possible. So in this little spread, I have here issues related to what you might call courage, or fortitude, or strength. A lot of different words, because strength and courage has many facets, right? And there are some people who feel like you should not use major arcana cards to talk about personal characteristics because they're the major arcana. You should stick with these suits. I disagree. I think that any suit, any card that resonates with you is fine. You go for it, because this is about your personal practice, not about being right or wrong or playing by the rules. I strongly discourage playing by the rules, actually. I'll deviate there for a second. And that said, here is an oracle card that deals with these issues that I like very much. And I had said, this is about tarot. But I sort of include oracle. I thought about calling this tarot, resilience and cartomancy, but that seemed too wordy. I deviate again. Sorry. So let's look at these 3 cards, right? And how they're all talking about the same thing. In this one, it is a minor, but it takes courage to take your burden or your troubles or your whatever and to keep going. So this is also about strength and courage, right? So is this one. You're taking a stand. You are being brave. You are going to face down something that's difficult. And similarly, you've got it here. In my reading of this card, you also have an ally who is somewhat fierce, but you have to hold back your own personal fears if you're going to keep moving and moving forward, right? So this is how I might develop a little group of cards that meant something to me about being resilient. Obviously, this is about me. It's not about you. So you have to find your own card. So here's where it kind of gets fun. So you're going to grab a deck that you have that you feel super, super comfortable with. This is not the time to learn a deck. That's something else. Let's choose something that you already feel comfortable with. You feel like you really kind of know these cards well, so that as you go through them, it's going to be relatively easy for you to identify those characteristics, those ideas and concepts that resonate with you about being resilient. So I've chosen here the Druid craft, and I chose this one not because I personally am that comfortable with it, although I like it, but because Lisa Papez in Supportive Tarot has a series called Tarot with Training Wheels, which I will link here and here somehow so you can find it. If you're not familiar with that, you probably already are, because I think people who find me through Lisa. I'm going to suggest that you go and do that series. That series is really going to help you a lot, and I'm going to refer to it again at least once, probably twice more in additional videos that I make. So here's my point. She's using the Druid craft in that one to help you become familiar with your cards, and because she did that, I'm just going to piggyback on that a little bit. All right, so here are some things that I have that are build resilience for me personally. So I've chosen the Six of Pentacles. You're probably thinking, what in the world? But for me, being generous, being kind, helps me to build resilience. So this is the card that best represents that for me, although it also represents several other things. But for me, I can look at this character and I say, pay it forward, do something kind, contribute to your community, be aware of other people and where they are in their lives. That helps me to put myself into perspective and to relate better to others, and those things really help me to be resilient, especially in social situations, but across the board, really. Okay, so here is the Strength card. I kept picking these because I felt that most people were going to think that strength had a big plays a big role in resilience, and I believe that it does. Then I chose the Sun, because for me, being resilient means seeing things, seeing the beauty and life that surrounds you, so that even when you're having a really, really dark moment, you feel bad, it's, you know, it could be anything, you can still have the resilience to see a flower, to see that the sun is shining, to look at a young child and take pleasure from their joy, or to enjoy an animal, something, whatever makes you happy. Can you do that? That's resilience. Now, I also chose the Seven of Pentacles. For me, in the Seven of Pentacles, your character is taking a moment to consider what they have built or created, or where they are on their journey, and to sort of harvest that a little bit and to say, oh, look, I am capable. I have done things. I can enjoy the fruits of my labor. That is resilience for me, you know, to have that knowledge and that appreciation for where you are. I also chose the Empress, or the Lady, in this deck, because for me, that is a moment of accepting abundance, the abundance of the world that we live in. We have so much. We have, you know, in the context of the history of the world and where most of the people who view this video are, we have so much. We are so abundant. And being able to stop and say, I have so much, that helps you to be resilient and to bounce back from when you are feeling less than, because those are those moments where you have to sort of dig deep because you don't feel full. And can you stop and can you look around and say, all right, I may not be feeling it right now, but objectively, I have a lot. I've got a lot. So that was an example of just a few characteristics, and I sort of put them here by the Five of Pentacles because she's feeling a little forlorn. She needs some resilience. So, you know, you could pull cards like this to balance out something like that if you ever use cards intentionally, which I do sometimes. By the way, this is trimmed and, yeah, I did the borders. I colored the borders. That's it. That's the word I'm looking for. That's not the way the Druid craft comes, in the event that you're not already familiar with that deck. Okay, so now how is this going to look for you? I just pulled a few examples, but here's what I'm going to suggest. I'm going to suggest that you have your list, right? Put your list here. Put a deck that you like. This one is called the Little Buddha. It's out recently, so it's new, so you may not see it. I'll also link that here or there somewhere. It was a Kickstarter, but I believe that there are still decks available. And you're going to just go through your deck one by one, and this is kind of fun, right? And you're going to say, does this feel resilient? Does this feel resilient? And why? Does it match up with your list? You definitely want to find at least one card for every quality on your list. You'll probably find more than one. I hope you'll find more than one, because everything is so multifaceted and rich. So just flip through your deck, whichever deck it is. You do not have to use the same deck over and over. And see, where can I find this on my list? Now, maybe something will pop up that's not on your list. So I'll be honest, when I made my list, I did not say love was something that helped me be resilient. But when I look at this, I say, yes, sometimes love, feeling love, my own love for someone or something, or someone's love for me, that can help me to feel resilience. So some things may pop up for you here, and if they do, you know, definitely add them to your list. Whoops, goodbye, Crystal, come back. So there you go. So you're going to marry your list to your cards. And then, like I said, I do suggest, no, maybe I didn't say it. I do suggest that when you have your list, you're going to have two columns. You're going to have a column with all the qualities over here. Then you're going to have another column with the cards that match up with those qualities. That's how I would do it. You may choose to say courage, and then underneath you write strength card, 10 of wands, whatever, you know, and list it like that in a list format. I kind of like columns. It's just the way my visual brain works. Okay, I hope that gives you something fun, really fun to do, and it helps you to reflect even further on what builds resilience. So grab a deck that's well known to you, this one, whatever is in your collection that you feel good about. Get your list of characteristics, have it ready, get a pencil or a pen, some blank paper, and have a lot of fun with this. Find which cards match which qualities on your list of resiliency characteristics. Have a lot of fun with this and bounce back. Bye.